let's go to Taryn in Fresno. It's an all California show today. What's up, Taryn?
Hi, Dr. Delony. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you for calling. And I don't know why I'm so loud today. I feel loud. Sorry. I would, if you
Helping me wake up. It's okay.
But if you and me met at a coffee shop, I wouldn't be like, "Hello, Taryn." I wouldn't do that. I don't know why I'm yelling. It's so dumb. So I'm gonna back that thing up. Okay. We'll slap it up, flip it, and reverse it. Okay. So, hey, good morning, Taryn. What's up? How are we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I feel so much better to talk to you like a human, not like I'm like, yeah, radio. I am good. So what's going on? How can I help?
Yeah. So my dad has been in prison my entire life. And
well, let's just get right into it.
It's a great way to start a conversation, right?
Hey, so what happened? Why has he been in jail your whole life?
So he was sentenced when I was about 3 months old. And he is a sex offender.
Okay.
So yeah, that happened when I was just a few months old. He's been gone ever since.
Were you the victim?
Month, I was not. No.
Okay. What was the offense?
So without getting into too much detail or getting too graphic, he had a lot of abuse when he was growing up from other people in the church and his family. And that kind of progressed to him doing the same kind of abuse when he was an adult.
Okay.
With kids? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So he's been in jail your whole life. How many years is that? 20 years, 30 years?
25.
25. Okay.
Yeah. So he is getting released at the end of next month.
Can I just guess? Does he want to?
Yeah.
Does he want to kick it all back up and make up for lost time and get his daughter back?
Kind of.
Okay.
So he probably the past year or two. I mean, we'll write letters back and forth here and there to stay in contact. We have kind of tried to heal the relationship a little bit, but writing back and forth and, with visitation and everything, and, then COVID hit and no visitation was allowed to happen, that wall was always there, so it was kind of easy. And it was okay. But now that he's getting out and it's all in person, it's like I don't even know where to start. So I guess my main question for you is, how do I maintain this relationship in a healthy way with healthy boundaries, I guess is my question.
Okay, so I'm going to lean into a hard thing, okay? And the hard thing is this. I'm going to talk to somebody else about their dad, and I'm going to be really honest, and that can sometimes cross my own personal boundaries, which is to not say ugly things about other people's parents. Is that cool?
It's okay. It really is. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start it this way. Take all of a daughter's supposed to fill in the blank with their dad, supposed to love their dad and respect their dad. Take the fact away that he's your dad. Let's just talk about this guy. Let's call him Dan. Let's talk about Dan. What do you think of Dan? Be honest.
I probably not the best things, but I mean,
hey, that's what that's what I want to hear you say out loud. What do you think about Dan? Because here's my guess. My guess is you have wrapped up your feelings and what you really think, and your guts, and your rage, and your anger, and your heartbrokenness under this daughter duty to dad. I may be way out of line there, but that's my guess. And you have tried to make it work because I'm supposed to forgive, I'm supposed to burn my dad. What do you really think about Dan?
Honestly, I was really disgusted with him. I just didn't understand how someone could do that, even with all the abuse he had as a child. I mean, I understand how it led up, not saying that I agree with it, but
everyone's still got a choice. Everyone's still got a choice. Could care less what happens.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone's got a choice.
Yeah. And I was very angry. I was very disgusted for a long time. We didn't talk for a number of years, actually, just because of the whole situation. Once I was old enough and I found out everything that happened, once, that my mom and him actually were able to tell me what happened. And
how old were you when that happened?
It's probably about 15 or so.
So was there a big cloud? Did they lie to you for the first 15 years of your life about where Dad was?
So my mom did lie for a number of years, saying where he was. She would just kind of make up random things. I don't remember all of them, but of course it was avoiding the fact that he was in prison. He was actually telling my mom and I that he was innocent this entire time. And then when I was about 14 or 15 or so, he actually came to my mom and me, wrote us a letter and told us that he was actually guilty of all those things. So he told my mom and I the truth at the same time. And then my mom kind of gave me a more detailed explanation. So it kind of hit everybody suddenly.
Yeah.
And it was surprising. And that was the time that I didn't really talk to him for a while. Probably till I was about 18 or 19 or so. He kind of wrote me out of the blue, and he wanted to apologize for everything that he did, and that he's been going through, treatments and therapy, and kind of taking his mental illness into consideration and trying to find treatment for that. So just basically that he's changed and that he's trying to forgive himself and move forward and all that. And ever since then, it's just kind of been on and off and rocky. And it's, to this day, it's still hard to talk to him.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what to say sometimes. I don't know how to have a conversation with this guy sometimes, and it's hard. So that's just kind of where I've been at.
Oh, man. Well, thank you for walking us through that. So
yeah.
I don't want to miss the scope of this trauma. And you've lived this, but I want to put words to it. Your dad left you. And if he had left you and your mom for another woman when you were 3 months old, that would have been trauma. Because you would have spent your childhood years wondering what was so great about that other woman that Dad left me. I'm his baby girl, and he left me. And then there was the trauma of finding out that your mom lied to you for years. Whether she thought she had to or not, whatever, that's not the point. The point is that it happened. I'm not about blame and all that. It happened.
Yeah.
And so then there's a fracture in the relationship between you and your mom. And my guess is y'all were ride or die at that moment because she's all you had. And then to find out, nothing I know is true. Because Mom, the one person I had, didn't tell me the truth about my whole life. And then to find out, oh, there's Dad, he's back. Oh, and by the way, he did the most evil, egregious thing a person can do, which is take the innocence away from a child. And by the way, daughter, if you will have me back, I'd sure love to come back. And so then this whole thing wraps up in a pretty bow and a package and handed to you, which is you get to heal yourself from all of this trauma. And you get to heal all of these things, and it all rests on you, which is another trauma. It's kind of like my friends. I've had several friends who get cancer, and they will tell me almost worse than the cancer diagnosis is that they are now responsible for making every person in their life feel better. And that's what just happened to you. Now it's your job. What are you going to say to Dad? Are you going to have Dad over? Are you going to let me back in your life? And suddenly you, the child, are responsible for healing these adult relationships.
Yeah.
And so I know you know this. I'm not telling you that you don't know. You're clearly brilliant, and you are clearly been through tough as nails. You've been through a lot. But the trauma is that you've experienced, that your body has had to navigate, is deeper than just your dad committed an atrocity. It's that since you were 3 months old, you have been a balloon on a string just floating up in space. Does that ring true with your body? Does that ring true?
I haven't really ever put words into it or put it into words, but yeah, it does.
My guess is you are really good at your job and you don't take crap from anybody, or you take crap from everybody and you say, I'll take care of it. You're either a war finder or a peacekeeper. Which one are you?
I'm a peacekeeper.
There you go. I will make sure that everything goes. And when a peacekeeper is a peacekeeper for a long time, the one person that doesn't have peace in their soul is them. And I just want to tell you, I could probably get choked up here pretty quick if I let myself. I'm sorry this happened to you. Because you're kind of awesome. Not kind of. You're all the way awesome. And you deserved a better shot out of the cannon than you got. And you deserve to be anchored into people who say, I freaking love Taryn. She's incredible. And if I'm the first person to ever tell you that, shame on everybody around you. But I'm glad I get to be the person to tell you that. Are you married?
I am, yeah.
Somebody good?
Yeah, very good.
A good anchor?
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever get to put the peacekeeper down and just go full Taryn? Just go full, either it's full rage or full dance or full, we're turning the strobes on and we're turning on the house music and we're going to rock this thing on, or full, I can be wildly intimate with this person. Like, are you able to let peacekeeper go?
Probably the only person I can do that with is with my husband.
Okay.
He's seen me try so hard to make people happy, and I just exhaust myself, or I get sick or whatever ends up happening, and he kind of tells me when to just be myself and relax, or sometimes he'll come in and he'll pick up the pieces so I don't have to.
So here's your work. Your work is not fixing your family. That was done to you. That's not your job. Your job is to heal Taryn. And man, what a stud that you married that loves you enough to walk alongside you. My dream and hope for you, Taryn, is that in short order, you don't need somebody else to tell you when you've done enough. You'll be able to trust your body for the first time. You'll be able to trust Taryn for the first time. You'll be able to stand tall and say, you know what I want today? Craziness. You know what I want today? We're knocking off work and we're going to dance until we can't move. You know what I want to do? I'm going hiking until my legs don't work anymore. I want, and that's the work. Because I think you've been nice long enough. And I think you've squashed Taryn for a long, long, long time. And none of this is why you called, right?
Yes and no.
Yeah. So here's the deal about your dad. Any sort of relationship you do or don't have is on your terms. Your dad cashed in his ticket. When he chose to steal the most precious thing from a person, which is their innocence, from 1, 2, 20, 50, however many kids there were, he made a choice to say, I am no longer going to have influence or presence in the life of my one sacred daughter. I'm choosing that. And I know he's got demons, and I know he's been hurt and evil and hurt people and all that, but he made a choice. I'm choosing this over influence and presence in my daughter's life. And that's a choice he made, and he's got to live with that, and you've got to live with that. Your mom's got to live with that. The whole ecosystem has to live with that. And you have to let the fantasy go, and this is a hard thing for peacekeepers, because peacekeepers live in a fantasy world that if they just do the right things in the right order, that everyone else's world will be okay. And that's not real. So you have to let the fantasy go. That he's going to come out, you're going to have this big hugging moment, and he's going to slowly start coming around, and one day he'll be able to hang out with your kids, and it will be lovely, and we got dad back. That's not real, and that's not going to happen.
No.
You've got to build something totally new, and you got to start over with all that knowledge in mind. And if you say, you know what, after doing some work on Taryn, I don't want to be in a relationship with this guy, Don't. No obligation. If you say, for the first 2 years you're out of jail, you can write 1 letter to my house a month. I will burn every other letter that comes, and I will not see you in person. For 2 years, you can write me a letter. And then maybe I'll meet with your parole officer and see if you are living up to the recidivism rate for this type of sex offender is, the odds of him recommitting are very high.
Right.
And so I get to do whatever I want to do because I'm freaking Taryn. Right?
Yeah.
And so hear me say, I want you to be completely and totally at peace with whatever you want to do and however you want to build it. And the moment somebody sends you a mean text and says, well, you know what, you should, done, blocked, next. The moment your mom says, well, I was hoping we could all get blocked, next. Because for the first time, Taryn's not going to be keeping everybody else's peace. Taryn's going to keep peace inside of Taryn, which is going to give her husband peace. It's going to give her kids peace. It's going to give her workplace and her environment peace. And then maybe I'll reach out to that guy. Or, hey, tell me I'm all crazy, Taryn. Tell me I'm bananas. And say, no, I really, really want a relationship with him. You can do that too, but it's on your terms. Hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So here's what I want to have happen. I want you and husband to go out. I want you to let him talk. I want you to let him speak into, he loves you. He's walked alongside you. He's seen you hurt. He's seen you cry. He's seen you try to make everybody else's world okay. Both professionally, personally, everybody. I want to get his thoughts on letting dad back in your life. And then I want you to let it go for the first time. Whether you have to write it down, whether you just get a laptop and start typing, you have permission to type because I have a feeling that a lot will come out. And your hand may not be able to catch up on the yellow pad. But write, Taryn. Whew. What do you really feel? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to live? What do you want to do? What world do you want to create? You've been creating everybody's world for a long, long time, Taryn. Who do you want to be? What do you want to be? Start there. And then decide, I want to let this disgusting person back in my life. I believe in redemption. But sometimes redemption has a slow, long arc. And to anyone out there who hurts kids, God help you. Don't. Stop. Go get help. Quit. Turn yourself in. Whatever. But stop. Because you don't just hurt the kids. You hurt their entire family systems. You hurt the entire kids' ecosystem. You hurt your kids, your spouse, their kids, their grandkids. That type of evil roils through, just burns through generations.